gentlemen, welcome back to the World AI Show. As spoken about, it is time now for the government fireside chat on AI framework and technological infrastructure strategies for the Malaysian APAC Government Authorities. While we're looking at talking about the legal framework and strategies for the AI deployment in APAC region, how to improve citizen services using AI, smart cities and AI, is it a challenger or an enabler? AI versus data centers, where we're looking at talking about the national security concerns of data storage and management and the digital native youth as the future of digital transformation for the APAC. Well, with this, we're joined by our eminent speakers. First up, Shamshul Majid, the Chief Technology and Innovation Officer, MCMC. Well recognized for the track record in digital transformation for business growth, Sam is a tech leader with vast international experience in driving innovative growth across a diverse range of landscapes, including transportation, utilities, logistics, telecommunications, and government. Thank you so much, Sam, for joining us today.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Also joining us is Sigrit, who's the Director of Data Policy, Ministry of Economic Affairs and Communications. Well, at the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Communications of Estonia, she focuses on open data initiatives, data governance, and AI programs. She's somebody who holds a master's degree in the field of information technology from the Technical University of Siht, Estonia. Thank you so much, Sigrit, for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, and hello, good morning to everyone from Estonia.
Pleasure having you, Sigrit. Also now introducing to you the moderator who's going to be, facilitating this entire fireside chat. We're joined now by Felicia, Chua, the Senior Assistant Director, ICT Consultancy Division, Malaysian Administrative Modernization and Management Planning Unit. Well, Felicia has 12 plus years of G2G experience in the public sector, ICT coaching and consultation, mainly focusing on the ICT project management and ICT strategic planning. She's one of the co-founders of two main ICT guidelines applied by various public sector agencies like the Malaysian Public Sector ICT Project Management Guideline and the Malaysian Public Sector ICT Strategic Planning Guideline. Thank you so much, Felicia, for joining us today.
Thanks, Governor. Thanks for having me. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Felicia. So, well, with this, it is now time to pass on the live baiting to all our key speakers for today and to take forth this chat. Felicia, over to you with your incredible set of speakers. Thank you for joining us.
Let's start. Everyone, hope you guys still okay. It's my honor to host moderate these sessions with Sam and also Sigrit. And without further ado, let's spark up flame with this government fireside chat. Okay. All right. In this midst of COVID-19 pandemic, the strategic importance for AI governments around the world is quite evident. Because we can see from pharmaceutical companies using AI to assist.
Apologies to cut in now. But just request Sam, if you can just be on mute for the time being. Also, whilst we are talking, we'll unmute. Also, Felicia, if you can just be a little more louder, the voice is coming a little distorted. So just press our speakers, if that would be fine, Felicia.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Just a little more louder, it'll be great. Thank you, Felicia.
Okay. All right, let me start again. So the importance of AI from these pharmaceutical companies with the development of new drugs and treatments and the use of AI to assist contact tracing with mobile phone and geolocation data until these governments manage the pandemic. It helps us to govern and manage this pandemic in very useful and effective way. And AI could definitely improve this delivery of public service. But how can government position themselves to take advantage of this AI? And last year, we have this Oxford and IDRC presented the findings. And for Malaysia, we are proud and honored that we are ranked 28 out of 172 participating countries. So Malaysia is very proactive in driving these digital transformations agenda to to drive this economy for the nations. And we have My Digital. There are a lot of policies and frameworks being developed. First, we have My Digital, which is just launched last year, with the aims to transform Malaysia to digitally driven and high-income nations towards 2030. And next, we have just recently, 2nd July, we have National IR 4.0 policy as well, just being launched. And last year also, we have National AI Framework, which is developed by MDEC. And next, we have National AI Roadmap 2021 to 2025 is currently refined and fine-tuned by the experts from University Technology Malaysia. And even Mampu ourselves for the public sector level, we are currently just kickstart this initiative to develop a public sector AI framework to help the agencies to look at this perspective. So my questions to Sam. As we know, AI is slowly and surely being incorporated into various industries all over the Malaysia. In your opinions, what might be the roles of AI to enhance government services? Who is ultimately responsible for unforeseen biases AI?
Thank you, Felicia, and thank you to the organizers for inviting MCMC into this fire chat session. Pretty much MCMC, as most of you know, is the regulator for telecommunication, broadcasting, courier, and also digital signature. These are all part of an evolution in economy, and that will also carry AI into the community as well as the largest employer in the country, which is the government. To answer Felicia's question on what sort of functions or potential AI features within government, I would say there's mainly two main areas. Number one is to contribute towards public policy objectives, and number two is to assist public interaction with government. Within these two buckets, there are six main areas of AI, I suppose. One is resource allocation, where we want to have better support in completing tasks, especially as you know, government is handling millions of people, millions of transactions, and millions of tasks. Number two is large data sets, where sometimes we face large data sets in front of us, and we require multiple large data sets to be combined. AI will really help that. Expert shortage, where AI could help in answering public questions and queries and also learn about issues. Predictable scenarios, where we can use past and current data to predict what may happen in the future. Procedural, where we know a lot of activities that public and government go into are repetitive in nature. AI can really assist that. And also diverse data, where we know data is not just structured, but also unstructured in nature, including language and audio, and this could be consumed by AI to provide better service. Within the public policy space, I would say that there are many benefits. One of them is that we can help citizens to understand what's going on around them, to classify emergencies better, to detect or prevent future issues such as spread of disease, to assist public servants in making welfare payment or decisions that help citizens, to maybe even in healthcare for the triage that happens when lots of people go up to the front desk of the hospital. AI can really help that. AI can help in monitoring social media for public feedback and also for emergency situations. Obviously, AI can be there 24/7 to detect fraudulent benefit claims or fraudulent transaction. AI can be there to predict a crime and to recommend optimal enforcement action, anticipate maintenance situation, identify areas of potential breach, even maybe to a point marking exam papers. So I would say AI has lots of opportunity for any organization, and especially the government itself, who is ultimately responsible? At this point in time, it is an open discussion where we know that public and private and government engagement needs to happen so that we can deal more into the nature of AI, the biases that AI may introduce, the creator of the algorithms which may or may not understand the biasness that is inherent, and also the data sets that are used for machine learning. Sometimes the data set itself has certain biasness. Therefore, the ultimate authority might be one which may not has not been identified, or maybe several based on the use cases.
Thank you, Sam. So we still have a lot of work to do to make this AI deploy in Malaysia effectively. Next, I have some question to Sigrit. So as we know, Estonia is always a role model for many of the countries. Look at this digitalization, the successful digitalizations of your nations, which impress us a lot. And Estonia is ranked number 17 in this government AI readiness index. And starting 2019, Estonia has already published this Estonian National Artificial Intelligence Strategy, which is more known as CRUST AI. There's a story for that. I just read about it. And you have Estonia has a vision that you want to have these 50 AI use cases by 2020. And as of today, can you share how Estonia has improved public services using AI? And what type of governance that has been enforced to make this success, make it a success? I pass to you, Sigrit.
Yes, thank you. What great research you have conducted. And I just want to say that we have surpassed the 50 use cases mark already. Obviously, it's 2021, so we should have done it. And I think the citizens can already feel the benefits and maybe not even realize that it is all thanks to the AI. And as Sam already said, that AI really can help citizens make sense of what's going on, but it really isn't that important for them to even know that AI is being used, even though it is great to advertise that just for the trust side. But as COVID-19 was already mentioned today, I'll start there maybe. Last spring, due to the crisis hitting us all almost out of the blue, and with everyone having so many questions, at least here in Estonia, about what the restrictions are, what the symptoms for COVID are, where can I get medical or even financial help, and we just didn't have the human resource to answer these questions. So a chatbot, Suve, was employed that could alleviate the workload of customer support specialists. And as we know, sorry, chatbots are really great use cases for when you have many questions that really, in essence, are the same, and answering them once and centrally will ensure that answers chatbots then providing the citizens with are timely and correct. And so many other use cases as well, which everyone is very welcome to look up on gratid.ee. We also have the English version there, but maybe two that I would like to mention, if I may, are Satikas. We all have names, Suve, Satikas. So Satikas is the one that detects all mowing on agricultural grasslands in Estonia, because farmers have to mow the grasslands to get the grants. And obviously, if you have money involved, you have to have a checkup happen now and then. And before Satikas was employed, every checkup needed to be in person. But now we have automated it using satellite imagery. And so we can look at the biomass and we have a constant time flow of, has the farmer mowed their grassland or have they not done so? And this has already resulted in many tens of thousands of euros of money saved. And as language was also mentioned in this session, or I also listened on into the last one, and speech recognition is also definitely one of the areas where artificial intelligence is showing its power and effectiveness. And so we have started to transcribe the plenary sessions of Riigikogu, which is the Estonian parliament. And because before that, stenographers had to do all the hard work, but now we can use AI and regular citizens can access the plenary verbatim reports, but they don't really know that AI is behind that. So I think there is definitely success, but we still have a long way to go. And the main model we use is try on a smaller scale, really proof of concept all the way. So if you do fail, and which may happen if you use models and data and you don't have enough for good training data sets, you may fail, but then fail on a smaller level. So you can get the result and then not lose that much public money. Back to you.
Thanks, Sigrit. So quite impressive use case for us to benchmark, and I think most of the country and Malaysia also is doing some AI lab, all those of things to have this AI to help us to improve our quality of life. And also most important, we want this effectiveness, efficiency by using this AI. So to have this AI to be run smoothly, everything, the infrastructure is the most crucial setup that we must come out and also construct well, so that our AI technology is running smooth and running like what we expected. So this digital infrastructure is the backbone to accelerate and enable AI. We everyone in this AI field, AI aspect must note. And in Malaysia, last year August, we have this National Digital Infrastructure Plan, which is known as Jandala. And this plan is under MCMC, right, Sam? So this two-phase action plan is part of the 12th Malaysia plan for 2021 to 25. Then the implementation is progressing as scheduled, according to a press release by Chairman MCMC in June. So we would like to ask Sam, can you just please share with us some insights of these implementations?
Okay, sure, no problem. Jandala was established from an industry lab last year, and from it, the aspirations were put together to leapfrog our digital infrastructure from what it was last year into something that can really support the digital economy and also 5G. Jandala is the foundation for 5G, which we anticipate to have certain areas to be operational by end of this year by Digital Nasional Berhad, a wholesale approach to provide 5G. Underpinning that is basically fiberization, which last year under Jandala, it started at 4.9 million, and our target under phase 1 of Jandala is 7.5 million premises to be fiberized. As of today, we are at 6 million households that have capability of fiber. Last year as well, Jandala understood that, and Jandala saw that our mobile broadband speed was 25 megabit per second. And under the goals of Jandala, we have aimed for 35 megabits per second. Today we are at 26 megabits. So we have moved from the basic 25 on along the way to 35 megabits per second. Also in terms of coverage, last year we were at for 4G coverage, we were at 92%. And our goal for 4G coverage is 97%. Today we are at 94% for 4G coverage. So Jandala is an aspiration by the industry players, with the help of industry players, together with MCMC, to bridge the digital infrastructure, and eventually will be the foundation for many 5G use cases that we will see either for public or for industries next year onwards.
That's a very good initiative, and hopefully this Jandala will soon to cover all over Malaysia, especially rural areas. And I'm staying in Dengkir. I'm only got 3G. Hopefully MCMC, the Jandala can come to Dengkir as soon as possible.
Yes.
And we know also there's a 5-year strategy roadmap for this package. For this, how to mention this is the National Postal and Courier Policy.
Yes.
So with this 5G is established, I think this infrastructure is going to spark our e-commerce and also our digital economy, especially all the in this pandemic, everyone is busy online shopping, and everyone is hoping our package will arrive as scheduled, right? So, can you share some insights of this package initiative?
Yes, the package initiative again is similar to Jandala. It's an industry initiative together with MCMC to provide a more conducive environment for logistics and last mile ecosystem that basically is the supplementary to the online ecosystem. Package has many elements. One of them is called PUDO, pick up and drop off. These are manned and unmanned location where you can drop off or pick up your items, not just at your homes. On top of that, we are also looking at how do we spur more profitable business for the logistics players, because as we know, we have increasing amount of packages to be delivered by the e-commerce logistics players, around about 25% increase year on year due to demand of online. So as more packages are to be delivered, the industry faces a lot of constraints in terms of capacity, in terms of performance, and also profitability. So package is aimed to address that. Similarly, package we also have a package map. Jandala map has been launched to the public 2 weeks ago, so I invite everybody to go to jandala.my to see the coverage details of your area for covering 4G or fiberization. Package map will have something similar as well for you to understand what is the level of service that you can obtain from an e-commerce and PUDO point of view. It is an industry initiative that we aim to bring higher customer satisfaction when it comes to people buying and getting their items, and also from a business service provider point of view, they are also getting higher incentives to deliver the packages on time and to handle the higher demand of packages year on year.
Thank you, Sam, on sharing this. So to our audience, so you have any interest and comment, I think you can go to the website and give some suggestions to improve the map or some feedback to improve as well. So we have looked at policy, governance, and also infrastructure. Now let's look at the data. So artificial intelligence is of course a data hog, right? Effectively building and deploying AI in the machine learning system requires huge data sets. So this question is to Sigrit, because you are the director of data policy in Estonia. So as we know, data sharing is known as the most difficult, challenging task for government. Who also having the same issues. How do you promote this data sharing, data integrity, and data security so that we can realize our interoperability initiatives for this AI?
Thanks. I'm really conscious of time, so I'll try to be quick about it. But I think I can't really answer that question without taking a step back or a step higher, whatever you will, and really talk about data governance, which is a known problem for us here in Estonia. And we are now trying to create sufficient guidelines and offer courses for people in the public sector for data stewardship. So within agencies, there would be an understanding of data assets, and then we can talk about data sharing. Because right now, most, if not all, AI use cases created have used only agencies' own data sets. And of course, the cross-referencing data would lead to new use cases. But right now, it more so is that we have an idea and then we start looking for the data and what can we use. And there really is a long way, a way to go for us with data governance. And other means for sharing data sets is for agencies to obviously open up all their data as open data, data that don't have any restrictions, obviously. And there we are also slowly making some progress with our new open data portal, where we try to automate as much as possible. And that was that's one of the actions from the before mentioned 4-pillar strategy paper as well. But I think the reason why why there might be not too much data sharing going on is that for the last 20 years now, the X-Road has existed, which is a secure data exchange layer that the public sector agencies use to exchange personal data. For example, the population registry with the health information system. And this obviously helps with once only principle, but has kind of been so successful with that type of data sharing that all other data sharing has been overlooked. So we have, I think before we start talking about data sharing, we have to get data governance in check, so we would even know what we can share. And obviously data integrity and security, I think you mentioned, come in after the fact, because you have to understand what you have and can I share it and what can I use, and I mean that just all comes from data governance. So back to you.
All right, thank you very much. I think we are almost time. It's a short time given to us, but we have a lot of things to share. Thanks, Sam and Sigrit. So as a wrap up, everyone well known, right? Governance, infrastructure, data is the most three important things for AI. And for government, of course, for government, the governance is the most important part, because once we have this policy or this framework being established well, everything will go in place. Okay. And my last sharing is technology is moving fast. How do we want to adopt? What we want to adapt? What we want to create? I think it's everything is depends on us. So in order for us to embrace this AI, I would like to suggest that everyone's or any agency, you have to assess the whole ecosystem first before you jump to follow the trend. So it looks at which aspect, you identify which aspect that you want to deploy AI, then only you will come to all this planning, everything in place. Okay, that's all for now. Back to you, Babana.
Thank you so much, Felicia.